Good afternoon. Welcome to the Library Board meeting for the New Ulm Public Library. Today is our February 11th meeting. My name is Geraldine Chelberg. I'm the Vice Chair of the Library Board, and I'll be running the meeting at least temporarily. We have some board members present. We have some board members virtual with us. We will be getting to them in a little bit, but just a reminder that when we do come to a voting situation, we'll be doing a roll call. April will be doing a roll call for us. Is that right? Yep. Okay, good. I'd like to move that we approve the agenda. Hopefully you've had a chance to look it over.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Great. We have a second. Are there any changes or discussion concerning approving the agenda?
No additions.
Okay. Then can we have a vote for approving the agenda, April?
Sarah Berger, Debbie Rudensky, Geraldine Chelberg,
Yes.
Justin Souter,
Yes.
Bernice Schmidt,
Yes.
Ting Ting Schwartz,
Yes.
Carl Zeidler.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, the agenda is approved. And we have some new library board members that we would like to introduce. Should we introduce our old selves first, or should we do new people first? Carl, you and I are the old ones. What should we do?
All right, let's go with the new folk.
All right. We have, if you wouldn't mind, actually, I'm going to start, if you don't mind, Carl. My name is Geraldine Chelberg. I'm a member of the New Ulm community, and I've been a library board member. I don't remember how long. It's been a few years. Actually, I think I'm done pretty soon, maybe in the end of this year. I don't know. I'll take that up later. And we have, let's see, we have 3 new members. Ting Ting, what can you tell us about
Hello?
yourself? Hello. Thank you for being on the
Can you
library
hear
board.
me?
Yes, we can hear you. Do you want
Okay,
to introduce
awesome. Yeah.
yourself?
Sorry, I think I lost you.
Yeah, that's easy to do on the Zoom things. Ting Ting, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so my name is Ting Ting Schwartz. I grew up in China, came to America, or specifically New Ulm, in 2012, so almost 9 years ago. And currently I'm teaching Chinese and Introduction to Minority Cultures and History of Modern China at MLC. And I'm married to Daniel Schwartz, who works with international students at MSU Mankato. And we have 2 kids, Elijah and Jason. Elijah is 3.5, almost 4. Jason is 1.5, and we are raising our kids bilingually, both in Chinese and English.
Great. Thank you, Ting Ting.
The COVID-19, the pandemic, I had a Chinese story time at Blue Earth County Library in Mankato. I don't know. What else?
That's great. That's great.
So, yeah,
Thank you very much.
Mom, wife.
Okay. Thanks for serving on the...
we go to St. Paul's, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for serving on the library board, Ting Ting. Dustin?
Yeah, I'm so happy that I could be part of this community and, somehow I can serve myself in this way. So thank you for having me to be part of this library board.
We're happy to have you. All right, Dustin, you're up next. What can you tell us about yourself?
Great. Yep, so I grew up in Morris, Minnesota. I moved to New Ulm in 2015. My wife was born and raised in New Ulm and met her in college, so moved to New Ulm in 2015. And I work as a financial planner in North Mankato, and my wife works at the New Ulm Medical Center. And we have 2 kids, ages 3 and 1, and we enjoy visiting the library typically on a weekly basis and have not been on a board before, but excited to help out.
Thank you very much. New member also, Sarah Berger. That's you. Hi, Sarah. Do you want to say anything today?
Hi,
Great.
Sarah. I've been living in New Ulm for about 10 years. I'm a teacher by training, but I'm currently staying at home with my daughters.
Thank you very much. Welcome. As well as myself, we have Carl Zeidler on the board. What do you want to say, Carl?
Well, I want to welcome all the new members, and it's good to be with everyone here and by electronically. And I've been on the board I'm beginning my fifth year, and I have enjoyed the work that this board does. So it's good to be with everybody, and look forward to serving with you on the library board.
Thank you. And we also have Gabby Budensky. Hello, Gabby. Okay. Great. Thanks. Okay, we have some elections to attend to. We're in need of a president, a vice president, and a secretary/treasurer. Word has it that certain people have agreed to stand for certain positions, specifically president and secretary/treasurer. I'm willing to be vice president again, but let's make it official. Since Ruth Ann is not here, do we hold off on that, perhaps?
We could, yeah.
Okay. We'll hold off on president. We'll get to that maybe later today, maybe next month. You just never know. I'm willing to be vice president. Do we need a motion for that?
We need a nomination.
We need a
yeah.
nomination.
Or-
Can I just interject and ask a question? Madam Chair, do we have a slate of candidates who have agreed to serve in these posts, Pauline?
Yes.
Indeed, we have.
Mhm.
We couldn't just move the slate of candidates and either vote by acclamation for the positions they've agreed to serve in, or if you want to call a roll call for the slate of candidates for those positions.
Wow, that would really smooth out the process, wouldn't it?
Sounds good, yeah.
Sounds good. Do we need that in the form of a motion? Was that a motion, Carl?
Well, I think it would be helpful to list the candidates of the positions that they've agreed to serve in. And
Good idea.
If there's any others that would like to be nominated from the floor, we could do that. And if not, we could move the slate.
Okay. So Ruth Ann Webster has volunteered to serve as our chair, and Gabby Budensky as our secretary treasurer, and Geraldine Gilberg as our vice chair.
That's the slate we have at this time. Do we have any other nominations from the floor? We do not.
I'll make a motion that we move to accept the slate of candidates as presented.
We have a motion to move the slate of candidates as presented. Do we have a second? We have a second. And that will bring us to any discussion about the motion? All right, hearing none, we will take roll call.
Sarah? Gabby? Yes. Geraldine?
Yes?
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. That passes the motion. We have an official new library board president in Ruth Ann Webster. I will agree to be vice president. Here it says president. We've been using chair, president interchangeably. Is that
That's
okay?
true, yes.
All right.
Yeah, we can change that.
Okay, and Gabby Budensky will be our secretary/treasurer. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is our Brown County Library Board representative. Carl has been the current representative. He will be through this year, 2021. We need an alternate for 2021 at this time. Is there anyone willing to take on this position?
And it's more also as a heads up that Carl Zeidler's term will also be coming up this year. So we will need someone after 2021 as in 2022. So this is more also informational in the Traverse des Sioux Library System. The Brown County Library Board representative comes from, it could be anyone within Brown County, but usually it's been a New Ulm library board member. For the most part, we do, at one point, we have also had an alternate from, I believe, Springfield, but as of right now, we don't have anyone as an alternate. So it's mostly if anyone would be interested too, just to think about it for the future.
Okay. Is it something we need to move on today?
No, it's
or
not.
no?
Just as a, if anyone would be willing to serve, that'd be great. And also as well as in the alternate roles as well for both of those boards.
All right. Carl, once again, could you give us a synopsis of what you do and how often you meet for the Brown County Library Board?
The Brown County Library Board, I don't know that you could say overseas, but it deals with the 5 libraries in Brown County, New Ulm, Hanska, Springfield, Sleepy Eye,
Comfrey.
and Comfort. And primarily, the responsibility is to assist those libraries in areas where they could be helped by the board through ideas and suggestions. As well, the board allocates the funds that the county approves in their annual budget to each of the libraries on an equal basis of distribution, and that happens twice a year in June and November, and that's how often the board meets, is twice a year, and primarily the business that we conduct is the approval and allocation of those approved and allocated resources from the county board. And then you just share information as to what's occurring at each of the libraries within the county and where each library could help one another if there's a need.
Thank you. Would you say that's a fair description also of your Travis Sioux library system job?
That board is a little different. That's a regional library, and I believe the regional library system in Minnesota, I'm not sure how many regions there are. I think there might be, I don't want to guess, several regions. And Travis Sioux, I believe, serves, is it 13 or 9 counties in southern and southeastern Minnesota. And each county is represented on the board, and each library within the county, basically public and academic and school libraries belong essentially to the Traverse des Sioux system, and they share resources. And I think perhaps Paulina could give a supplemental description of what the board does, but they deal with the cataloging, the distribution of books that are received on interlibrary loan. They deliver those books, and then they pick them up and take them back to get them back to where they have originated. And they do certain kinds of programming, and they have some technology and software that we share as a regional library within the system, and it's quite a helpful system. And they're primarily funded by membership fees from each of the libraries, as well as an allocation from the state of Minnesota.
Thank you. You are that representative as well, and so your term will be expiring at the end of this year, 2021, so we will need a new you there too. Anything else you want to add about that, Paulina?
No, that pretty much summed it up well, yep.
All right, let's go on to the approval of the minutes from the last time we met, which was in December of 2020. I'd like to move that we approve the minutes as we've seen. Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Bernice.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, barring none, we will vote.
Sarah? Gabby? Yes. Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Thank you. That brings us to the financial report. Paulina?
So I included the December one just as a reference point since we didn't meet last month, and our word about the 2020 budget summary. So as of February 2nd, we had about 7.53% remaining of the 2020 budget, a little over 60,000. That doesn't reflect one reimbursement checks that we're slated to receive, as well as the rent and utilities from NewCat, which will go in there. So that will be an additional 6 or 7 thousand that will go into the library's general fund from last year. And I can, if you'd like, I can run one of those again once those hit the our reporting. As for January 2021, we are 8.49% through the year, and our budget is approximately 6.53% expended. Some of our expenditures this month included our quarterly remittance to Minnesota Elevator and Metro sales, and we paid for some of our subscriptions and memberships this month, including the Star Tribune, Sleepy Eye Herald, and the Minnesota History magazine.
All right, thank you. Do you want to move right on to the librarian's report?
Sure. If anyone does anyone have any questions?
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Just in case. If not, I can I'll bring back 2020 next month as well. Sure. So librarian's report, we received our shipment of 2020 federal tax forms. So they're available we still only continue to have the one door open by the bunker. So they're available just in that door. For patrons to help themselves. We no longer receive tax forms from the Minnesota Department of Revenue, but we do have copies of most of the common Minnesota forms available at the service desk for 25 cents a page. And then we can help anyone if they need other forms or schedules. We are once again partnering with the United Way to provide free tax prep through VITA this year. In the lower level, they have started taking appointments. And so far, I heard they expanded to, they're going to, starting March 12th, they will be in the meeting room on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. They needed an extra day to accommodate social distancing and their protocols of how they're going to meet with people, as well as some of their tax preparers did not come back this year due to COVID. But I heard that as of last week, they had about 200 appointments. So it is definitely very popular, but like I said, they are trying to stagger everything. So we'll see how that goes. I know they're still working on some protocols in terms of plexiglass. And just a quick comment about statistics. We're definitely down a little bit due to current circumstances, but we do not have statistics for January for the website due to the website changeover, and I hope to have those at next month's meeting. I did get them in today, but they didn't look right, so I have to double check. They're a little bit down, but because of the website changeover, I think I'm not finding all the numbers. So I'll get to, that to you as well. I also included the programming we have coming up this month. And I can't get to it. Let me go in here. So our book groups are still meeting virtually. We have, and another comment about statistics, we did have the month of January, we had the most contactless pickups than we have since we've offered contactless pickup while being open. And that was about 57. It's pretty good. Trying to see. We will have a virtual story time with the NARN that will broadcast on Saturday. It was pre-recorded on our Facebook page. And like I mentioned, the book groups are meeting virtually. We will also be having a virtual discussion on the documentary film Decoding the Weather Machine, featuring a lead forecaster from the National Weather Service, and that will be on Thursday, February 24th at 6:30. And you have to register online for that. Our winter adult reading program also continues. It started on January 15th and will last through the end of February. So if anyone wants to, March 15th. If someone wants to take their roll their dice on our Readopoly board. And then under staffing update, one of our library pages gave notice of retirement, and her last day was Saturday, February the 6th, and we anticipate advertising for the position within the next week or so. So
Thank
we've been
you.
busy.
Yes.
Any questions on anything?
I didn't catch what position the employee was in.
Oh, she was a library page. And we did have 3 new library aides start at the beginning of January. Oh, sure. So our library page shelves all of our books that come back, maintains our shelves, and helps in other ways in terms of presenting our library collection. They keep our collection organized and easy to find.
Any other questions for Paulina? All right, thanks. We have a few action items to take care of. The first one is Resolution 2021-1, accepting November 5, 2020 through February 6, 2021 donations and memorials. And the resolution reads thus. The attached lists describe donations received by the library from November 4, 2020 through February 6, 2021. This includes general donations and memorials. The Library Board of the New Ulm Public Library accepts these donations with gratitude to the donors. Hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at that list. And so we would need a motion to vote on accepting these donations.
I'll make a motion to accept the donations.
Thank you, Carl. Do we have a second for Resolution 2021-1?
I'll second. This is Bernice.
Thank you. All right, any discussion, any questions, anything anybody wants to say?
Perhaps, again, for the benefit of those that are new, if Paulina, if you have the ability to share what kinds of donations that we typically get in the library, and how that bolsters and helps provide a lot of what the library does, what kinds of things we're receiving from donors.
Oh, sure. We have many amazing individuals who give us donations. As you can see on the list, some of them have been in memory of people. Catherine K. Simpson was a longtime Friends member, and she passed away. So we have some donations that came specifically in her name. And once in a while, some people will choose to funnel donations would like us to purchase certain things like specific collections. Like they'll either ask us to buy more fiction books, more nonfiction books, things like that in their memory. Sometimes it's items of interest, other times we have Ardella Floyd, his wife was actually a staff member. She asked that monies they received go towards children's materials, the children's renovations that we've been doing in the room, just anything for the children's room, not so much specifically for books. So it enhances the collection that we can provide our patrons, helps us provide our friends of the library gave us money for our winter reading program prizes. What else do we have in here? But yeah, for the general For the most part, it's a purchase of books. Once in a while, it's bigger items. It just really depends, but it does bolster what we can do for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion or questions for this resolution? All right, April, if you'd go through the roll, please.
Sarah? Gabby? Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
All right, that motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll move on to Resolution 2021-2, accepting Community Giving Grant, and it reads, in December 2020, the library was awarded a Walmart Community Giving Grant for $2,000 to be used for obtaining a 3D printer and materials for a makerspace lab. Walmart Community Giving Grants are awarded to community entities that fit certain criteria, including proximity to a Walmart location. Amounts greater than $500 may be requested for materials and programs that benefit the local community on an ongoing basis. Do I have a motion for resolution number 2021-2? Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. This is Bernice.
Thank you. Any questions, any discussion concerning this resolution?
Yes, Paulina, could you tell us a little bit about 3D printer, what some of the things that you're looking for to provide to the patrons? How much does it cost? Is it $2,000 going to cover it? And how soon it might be available for patrons to use?
Those are really great questions, Carl. We anticipate ordering after it's been approved. The actual cost of the 3D printer is a little bit over $1,000 or so, but we're hoping to use the rest to purchase the filament, the different colors that can be used to make items. We are hoping to debut it once we can get more, obviously more in-person programming going for to get staff familiarized with how to work it. The software for the 3D printer, we did include the cost of it, but after investigating a little further, currently we do not have to pay for the software to run it. It is free with the 3D printer. So that's great. So we can put it on maybe like a laptop or two to help make it run. In terms of, we're hoping to do programming, both potentially for adults, but it's mostly for our young adults, have them design different, graphics, things like that within the parameters. So we're hoping to get some STEM programming going and have kids design different things they can print out. So that's how we're hoping to start it, and then we'll see what we can do further.
Any
And
other
so look for a 3D printer policy in your near future.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we'll have one ready, at least a first draft ready to present next month, or depending on when it arrives too, we want to see how it works. So,
Fair warning.
yeah.
All right, any other questions or discussion? All right, April, if you'd call the roll, please.
Sarah? Yes. Gabby? Yes. Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That motion has passed, and we will move on to Resolution 2021-3, approving $5,000 expenditure from the Hildegard Kitty Lieb Memorial Fund for books. And it reads, a bequest of $50,000 from the estate of Hildegard Lieb was made to the New Ulm Public Library in 1999. The sole stipulation on these funds was that they be used to purchase books in the name of Ms. Lieb. At its August 2, 2001 meeting, the New Ulm Public Library Board began discussing use of the Lieb Memorial Funds, that is, whether to use only interest or a combination of interest and principal in future years. At its October 4th, 2001 meeting, the Library Board made a decision, voting 6-2, to approve the motion that the Lieb Fund be made an endowment with only the interest earned on the principal to be used for purchasing books. As of January 2, 2021, the balance of the Lieb Fund is $66,130.61. The library last requested money from the Lieb Fund in 2016. The library requests $5,000 out of the Hildegard Lieb Memorial Fund accrued interest for use in acquiring new library materials. The funding would be divided the same way our materials budget is divided: $1,600 for adult fiction and adult nonfiction, $1,300 for children's, and $500 for young adult. The money would enrich all areas of the physical book collection, and we also would be able to purchase some books that may not make the bestseller lists but are of timely or of local interest. Do I have a motion for Resolution 2021-3?
So move.
Thank you, Carl. And we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. This is Bernice.
Thank you. Any questions concerning this resolution?
Just wanted to ask, are any of the materials going to be either large print or digital, or is this all standard print?
It'll be standard print. If in terms of large print, that would depend on our selectors, but for the most part, I think it'll be just standard physical book materials.
Any other questions? All right, let's move on to voting. April, please.
Sarah? Gabby? Yes. Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That resolution passed, and we'll move on to Resolution 2021-4, accepting Traverse de Sioux Library Cooperative's ILS Code of Conduct. I can read the resolution, but do you think I need to read the Code of
The actual
Conduct
code,
as well?
no, we couldn't.
Okay. The resolution itself reads, Traverse de Sioux, TDS, member libraries which use the Shared Integrated Library System, also known as ILS, have agreed as part of their signed shared automation contract document to comply with relevant standards and procedures set and adopted by the Advisory Council of Member Library Directors. As member libraries of TDS, our objective is to work cooperatively to benefit our library patrons. In order to maintain optimal and efficient service, we utilize a shared region-wide ILS. The following code of conduct is expected and required of all member libraries participating in the ILS. This document will be reviewed annually at the first annual meeting of the Advisory Council of Member Library Directors. The TDS Board of Directors asks that each library on the shared ILS acknowledge reading the Code of Conduct adopted by the member libraries. This written Code of Conduct replaces years of verbal discussions, generally accepted practices, and historical assumptions. It is a foundational document that will allow the member libraries and TDS office staff to work better together. This is the annual review of the Code of Conduct. Do I have a motion to accept the Code of Conduct for Resolution 2021-4? Can I make that motion myself? Does anybody know?
Well, you haven't read the Code of Conduct.
Do you think I
Different
need
page?
to? Let's see. Let's take a look at it.
If you want it to be official, you can maybe promotion to waive.
Ooh, okay. How about that? Can we have a motion to waive the reading of the code of conduct?
I'll second. It's Bernice.
Well, okay. Well, I'll consider that my motion to waive the reading of the code of conduct, and we can consider Bernice as the second. All right. Any questions or any comments about waiving the reading of the code of conduct?
Perhaps, Paulina, I hate to put this to you, but there in Ann Hokinson, the executive director of TDS's letter, she talks about ILS.
Yes.
And I mentioned a little bit when we were talking about the TDS and what it does for member libraries earlier about book loans. Maybe you could explain a little bit in a brief fashion what ILS stands for and how that helps our library and the libraries in the region.
Oh, sure. When it refers to ILS, it means the Integrative Library System. And as you look through the Code of Conduct, we share the Integrative Library system as a whole, all 9 counties, 13 libraries, different libraries. We contract our services with cataloging through Traverse to Sioux. So we ourselves in New Ulm, at the New Ulm Public Library, do not have our own catalog. There's some libraries who do. We share that those costs, that maintenance with Traverse to Sioux, and they have catalogers on staff who add different materials into the catalog. We add holdings sometimes, depending. Sometimes we send some of our books there to place the MARC records into the system. So when you go a user goes into our library catalog, they can search for any book within that is available from any of our Traverse to Sioux libraries. So that includes us, Martin County, Waseca. We can get library materials from any of those areas. So we purchase our own books, but we use the mutual system to hold our books. For some of our smaller libraries, the cost of maintaining a catalog is expensive, so it works very well for us in terms of working as a system, and that enables us to share books more readily. So if, for instance, if a couple of counties surrounding us, like Nicollet, like St. Peter, wouldn't be in our catalog, we would have to use MinLink to get those books in. So as a system, it enables us to more easily share materials in a faster manner. And so the Code of Conduct is just like mentioned, it was established last year, and this is just a yearly review. The library board signs off on it in terms of we're using it as it's meant to be intended, holding patrons accountable for other people's materials, bringing any issues to Traverse to Sioux if anything comes up. So it's more as a baseline for procedures as a system, because it does get a little bit interesting, especially the more libraries you have on board within the system. So, hope that kind of explains it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion before us to waive the reading of the Code of Conduct. We have a second, and could we call the roll, please?
Sarah? Gabby? Yes. Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Thank you. We will waive the reading of the Code of Conduct, and so I am lost. Do we have a motion and a second to accept Resolution 2021? We do not. We need a motion to accept the Traverse to Sioux Library Cooperative's ILS Code of Conduct.
No, we just did.
We just voted, the motion was to waive the reading of the code of conduct. But now we need to vote to accept the code of conduct. So we need a motion to do that.
All right, I'll make the motion.
Carl has made a motion to accept the code of conduct. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second. Dustin?
Thank you. We have a second. Any discussion or questions? All right, let's move on to the roll.
Sarah? Gabby? Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Thank you. And let's move on to our last resolution of the day. Resolution 2021-5, accepting ALA Transforming Communities Grant, which reads, in January 2021, the library was selected as one of 200 libraries to participate in Libraries Transforming Communities, focused on small and rural libraries, an American Library Association, ALA, initiative that helps library workers better serve their small and rural communities. The competitive award comes with a $3,000 grant that will help the library implement outreach to senior assisted living facilities in partnership with the Friends of the New Ulm Public Library. The library will acquire large print books to be used at the facilities and will host a virtual program in collaboration with community partners at the senior assisted living facilities in relation to reading and engagement in current times. Libraries Transforming Communities, focused on small and rural libraries, is an initiative of the American Library Association in collaboration with the Association for Rural and Small Libraries. I would entertain a motion to accept the community's grant from the ALA. Then I will make such a motion to accept the community's grant. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions? I actually have a question. Who wrote the grant for us?
I did for this one.
Way to go.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're excited. April and I have been discussing doing outreach to the assisted living, actually going in, signing up for library cards, but obviously we cannot do that right now. But we're hoping to, but we have had calls for people requesting books. So we're hoping to bridge that a little bit and get more books in their hands.
Very cool.
And that just assists the assisted living facilities in New Ulm?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And do I have it right? Is there 3?
I believe there are at least 3, yes. And I have contacts with at least 2, but I have come across a couple other ones. I have to investigate a little bit more in terms of other places we might be able to go to for this grant.
How did you hear about the grant?
It was on the Association of Rural and Small Libraries listserv, and then the Ann Hokuson, the Traverse des Sioux director, also I think shared because you had to be a member of them to apply, so we applied through TDS to be a member and applied for it. Yeah,
Nice.
they do have some. ALA has quite a few grants out right now that are great grants if we can get them, maybe. So we'll see. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? All right, then let's call the roll, please.
Sarah? Gabby? Yes. Carolyn?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yes.
Ting Ting?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Thank you. That resolution is passed. Is there any other business we need to attend today?
I just have 2 comments that I remembered as all of our library board meetings this year will be on the 2nd Tuesday of the month, except for November 11th. In November, we'll meet on November 18th instead. We will be, the City Hall will be closed on November 11th.
Okay. Thanks. Any other business? All right, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.